I'm Alan Robarge, a relationship coach and psychotherapist. Welcome to the new love addiction, where we are not talking about addiction. We're talking about attachment injuries and healing attachment trauma. On this video, let's explore strategies and behaviors that people use when they're trying to be emotionally unavailable. So, emotional unavailability is about being guarded. And besides the most obvious scenario of a person who just makes themselves physically unavailable, a person who does not call back, does not text, does not respond, there's also a series of more sophisticated covert behaviors, more subtle, hidden behaviors that we cannot very easily put our finger on, but nonetheless, if we look closely, we have to get out the microscope and notice the relationship dynamics. And we say, well, if this is going on, in fact, this is a form of emotional unavailability. This is a form of emotional distancing. And maybe you are in a relationship with a partner, a romantic partner, a friend, a family member. It could be a parent. It could even be at your work. It could be at a boss. If you have a work situation where there's a need to connect on a more emotional level and know each other as people, this could also be showing up at your place of employment. So we notice that if we want to be in more emotionally satisfying, emotionally connected relationship, and we're making an attempt to communicate to someone that we're in relationship with, and that we're noticing this gridlock, we're noticing this stuck feeling. One behavior that people use sometimes, it's a strategy, and this is usually not conscious, they're not trying to do this, but it's the idea of woe is me, or the idea of victim mentality. So by a person staying overly focused on themselves, we could even use the word self-absorbed, if they're very much concerned about their busy life, their problems, the constant reoccurring obstacles of could be their finances, could be their work situation, could be finding fault and feeling discouraged with other family members. So there's a incessant, constant complaining and a negativity. It's just, we could summarize the whole thing and say this is a stuck in this victim mentality. So imagine you want to relate to this person. You want to have a bit more of an open connection with the person who is more identified with their struggles in life, their suffering. And we all have suffering. So compassion to the person who is over-identified with their suffering. It's not easy to manage or work with. The consequence is that it creates a great limitation for sustaining securely attached, healthy relating. And if you're on the receiving end, where you want to be in relationship with this other, again, it could be your partner, it could be a family member, if you want to stay connected, but you are receiving a the wall of negativity, the wall of complaining, the wall of, for some it shows up as anger, very presenting as a kind of anger. That's exhausting to be on the receiving end. And if we're looking at the dynamics, the relationship dynamics, it creates a disconnect and it creates a pushing away of other people getting close. So whether the person is conscious of it or not, if this is a subconscious, this is then a function of the complaining. This is a function of the victim mentality, is it can create a buffer, it can create a wall. I can guarantee that that I can monitor and control the number of people that I let close to me, because I can't let people close to me because it'll be too vulnerable, it's too unpredictable, it's too scary, I don't want to reveal myself that way. So if I lead from my complaining, if I lead from my suffering, if I lead from all of the things that are distracting me from engaging with the person that's right in front of me, and I want to talk about my problems, and I present that alienates the other person. So if I ultimately want to stay emotionally unavailable, if I am guarded and I am very invested in keeping myself guarded, one way that I can do this and maintain that I'm going to stay emotionally unavailable is to continue to present from the place of my negativity, from the place of my struggle, from the place of my complaining, and from the place of my victim mentality. Or the whole thing, we'll just say, we label it and say the whole thing is a kind of victim mentality. To repeat, that doesn't deny that there is valid suffering still going on. The person who's complaining still has some legitimate real world challenges around, be it job, be it finances, be it family members, whatever, be it their health, it could be health related. But we're pointing out that this aspect of to have this as part of your personality structure, where you're a complainer and you're leading from negativity, you are mostly guaranteeing that you're keeping yourself emotionally disconnected and unavailable to others, because in that moment you're not creating a shift so that you can soften or drop the negativity of the complaining and the venting, and you're not able to move past it to see the other person, to join with the other person, to hey, what's going on with you? Yeah, yes, I'm complaining. Yes, I'm venting. Yes, I'm angry about XYZ. But if I can pull out of that, if I could step outside of myself and have a moment of freshness and say, well, what's going on in your world? Who are you? Or that's a nice new shirt you're wearing. I didn't, for the last 25 minutes, I didn't even see what color shirt you're wearing, because I'm really not paying attention. I'm looping in my own suffering. So if you're on the receiving end of this, if you're the type of person who is trying to relate to someone who's giving you a wall of their negativity and a wall of their own personal suffering, there is great limitation for opportunity for you to connect. You're going to feel shut down. You're going to feel that feeling of you can't get a word in edgewise, or that feeling like you're not getting any footing, and it will feel very one-sided. And if you do this enough, your nervous system will get activated, and it will either produce resentment and anger, like, okay, enough already. I get it that you're struggling, but Lord, can you please soften and connect with me for a minute? Or if it's not showing up as a kind of anger and resentment, it might also feel wildly discouraging, and you just sort of implode into a paralysis, like, there's no room to move. This idea of the word spaciousness and then constriction. When you're constricted, there's just no room to move. So pay attention to this. This might be one component or one aspect that you're noticing in people you're relating to, of how they are presenting as emotionally unavailable. And until they are willing to realize that this is also their participating. It takes two people or more people, but we can't be in a relationship on our own in our head. The whole idea of the word relationship implies co-relating, implies co-participation, or the phrase, it takes two to tango, and I always like to make a joke and say it takes two to disco. So if you don't have a disco partner, then relating is not happening. And then when we're in a family, we know and we feel that relating is not happening, but we pretend that it is. So can you feel it in this moment, the incredible disconnect in your body? You really know that family members are not actually participating in emotional openness, emotional disclosure, emotional honesty, emotional vulnerability, emotional attunement, emotional mirroring. This is not happening. And yet we're all going to pretend it is. And we're going to hang out together and engage as if it's happening, but you know in your body it's not happening. And this is why we have these reoccurring cycles of anger and resentment. This is why our bodies feel anxiety. This is why we repeatedly return, this chronic feeling. It's like the idea of the dog with a bone. The dog will just not let the bone go. If you're a person who has an awareness both in your body and you're just, intellectually, you could see it's happening, you're going to be like a dog with a bone, or you can be like family, or, if it's your partner, husband, like, hello, come on, let's look at this. Wife, why, hello, my girlfriend, we must look at this. And if you are with other people who are not quite at a place where they even value looking at it or even want to look at it, they're not going to look at it. And so it's this, it's this perpetuating gridlock. And this is painful. So empathy to you if you're experiencing this. I hope this video, at least to name the dynamic, to say, I hear you, I know this is going on, I get it, I understand. I hope that's enough also to give you a kind of mini break from the intensity of what it's like to desire connection and yet then have it be denied ultimately. I hope this was helpful. Please check out the Facebook group, The New Love Addiction, if you like this idea and want to explore similar ideas and chat with other people about these dynamics. Also, subscribe to this YouTube channel, please, if you would like to be notified on your YouTube channel of the latest videos when they get uploaded. And then lastly, you can learn more about me if you go to alanrobarge.com. Thank you for watching.